I want to see the supercut of Abby's face at the end of every episode. Just like stills of her reaction every episode.
If I had just a little bit more time in my life, or like we had a professional editor on payroll, which we could potentially do if more people joined our Patreon at Midnight Creations on Patreon, that would be like the absolute first like Patreon bonus, when it like just like a supercut put to like Evanescence or something like that, like just something cheesy.
Also need to get all the smiling faces of Ty from last game. He looked like a kid I'm serious. I went back and looked at his face. Pure joy.
The following recording takes place in a world of darkness and explores narrative of personal horror. This story is a work of fiction and is not official World of Darkness material. Many of the themes are portrayed from a place of empathy, but may be uncomfortable to some listeners. Episodes may contain coarse language, sexual content, mental and emotional abuse, violence, mental illness, and blood. Listener discretion is advised. Portions of the materials are the copyrights and trademarks of Paradox Interactive AB and are used with permission. All rights reserved. For more information, please visit worldofdarkness.com. Thank you for listening to Milwaukee by Night. We hope you've enjoyed the story thus far and invite you to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player. By doing this, you will help support the show and get updates when our next episodes go live. If you would like to be part of our community, you can follow us on Twitter and join our Discord. Both of those links are in the down there part. Oh, and also, if you're watching on, Twitch, follows are free, baby. Hit us with a follow. And
if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you might have a free sub to use on your favorite stream in Twitch. Click on subscribe now to find out if you have that.
Yeah, there you go.
Support your local station.
Yeah, there you go. And the Patreon is there for Midnight Creations. If you want to pay this fine talent you see before you, including Abby, whom you may not currently see before you, because as I understand it, she is fighting Zeus at atop Mount Olympus currently.
Still lost in the abyss.
Yeah, trying to get her internet to work right now.
My bad.
You're bad. Well, when you go and make pacts with unnamed entities from the outer dark. All right. No, that's all right. I'm not losing my shit. We'll see if my Doc Brown hair starts to take over the longer the stream goes on tonight. All right. So, player introductions. Yeah, I was just checking to see if Abby was good to go or not. Every time I see player schemes light up, I'm like, maybe. All right.
It's just me being annoying.
You're never annoying, Ty. So, speaking of never annoying Ty, how's it going tonight, Ty?
Oh, fantastic.
Ooh, reverse order. I'm mixing it up. You don't know which
Love
angle
it.
I'm coming from.
Love it. And I am Ty, and I am playing Salvatore, caitiff by choice.
Smoking. And you are on Twitter if they want to...
Oh yeah, I do the bird stuff at Fat Kid Sports, or at Plan Slan Show, my podcast I do with people that you should find and listen to.
I agree.
Sometimes.
I agree. Plan and Slan's pretty dope. It's one of my favorite podcasts personally, and not just because I know you. I liked it before I knew you, actually, and then I grudged you and destroyed you in real time, in both drinking and playing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of grudges,
Sounds like
on
that
my
was
Twitter,
news to tie.
you'll see a great grudge call out for NashCon that I'm headed to.
Best.
I
The
know,
absolute best.
I know we're not. I know we're a vampire show right now, but I can't contain how much I love Warhammer sometimes, and this is one of those moments. Grudge matches. It was just. So, speaking of perfection, how's it going, Scott?
Action. I've been doing too much like dark magic shit. My voice is gone.
Makes total sense. Are you okay?
I mean, yeah. You'd think I had like this terrible terminal illness, but I just lost my voice. That's it.
Yeah.
No headache, no nothing else.
Yeah, communing with the beast took its toll on you. I appreciate you weathering the storm, braving the storm here.
But in this game, I'm playing Ben Sahar, and I don't do Twitter that is palpable for audiences, so go follow me.
You know someone who you should follow. Look at that way better segue. Charlotte. How's it going, Charlotte?
Going well. I mean, you can follow me if you want. I'd be delighted to hit like 900 followers one of these days.
How many
Let me
followers
see
are you
that.
right now?
Like 853 or something. Not that I'm counting.
Let's go like
Let's go count.
let's shoot for 900. Let's get Charlotte 900 followers at
Foxfire22. That is FOXFYRE22. And correction, it was 854. I was off by one. But tonight, I will be reprising my role as Sarah, the new La Sombra, who just fed for the first time. It was an experience.
That was actually one of my
I'll probably do it again.
Interesting. See, that was actually one of my favorite moments of last session. I think it kind of tied. It was like the dude's rug in The Big Lebowski, a movie I love, and I understand you don't. We talked about
I'm indifferent.
indifferent. Fair enough.
Nothing spectacular.
It really, but
brought
for me,
the
that
room together.
yeah, it tied the room together like the rug. Yeah, in The Big Lebowski. So that was pretty. That scene was really cool. I think it really showed, sort of, it showcased Sarah's journey, her tribulations, her struggle to be this, she's kind of out of her depth in a couple different ways, and I think it showed those sort of like those various conflicts that she really has like around her. So that's a journey I look really, quite frankly, very interested in seeing as we continue to play. But speaking of wild journeys, my friendship with this man has taken me on a wild journey to tell you this story tonight. How's it going, oldest friend in the world, Sam?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. And now you're becoming kind of like the internet's oldest friend in the world, as far as I understand. You have like your OnlyFangs. We're gonna have to like come up with like like various bands or like like Star Trek nerds are called like Trekkers. We're gonna have to come up with something for like Cass fans.
I think it's Trekkies.
Trekkies? I thought they preferred Trekker.
Never heard that
Not
one
a thing,
before.
Andrew.
No.
Trekkie.
Must be some weird Wisconsin word that you keep trying to throw out there.
Like toboggan? Is this?
Yeah.
Are you discriminating against toboggans again?
Yeah, and tucks or whatever you call them.
Toques.
Toque.
Don't you wear a toque? I thought a toque was a Canadian thing.
It is. You pronounced it weird last time you said
Oh,
it.
is that what it was? How's it going, Sam?
Doing all right. I'll be playing Cass, who has an OnlyFangs. We're soon to have an OnlyFangs, and yeah, he's a Malkavian. He does Malkavian things.
Fantastic. And no personal internet presence, though there is a fan account, I understand, made by some mysterious individual at Malkavian and Carr. It has 12 followers. Let's increase that. Abby is, as I said, not with us this evening. She normally plays our Nosferatu. At Enough of Abby on the Bird app. She's currently fighting Zeus to fix her internet, but she'll be with us in the up here part. I think we'll have a decent way to sort of write her character out of the scene for a little bit on account of how they were doing woo-wee-woo spirit stuff before in the Umbra. And I guess I almost forgot that I am the magical Mr. Mephisto. I am your storyteller this evening. I will be parlaying my love of the city of Milwaukee into twisted visions of it instead to tell you this story. So last week, do I want to defer this recap to somebody else? What do you think, Ty? You want to give us like the quick sort of Cliff's notes, the spark notes, as it were?
Yes, I would love to. It was an exciting time. There was a betrayal of an old friend by Ben Sahar, as he did in Ellis, and that I believe was the time before, but he used that to segue into a bit of a summoning. And we saw that unfold as Ben Sahar kind of brought weeks of work to fruition. That's not creepy at all, Scott.
Buddha.
And
Buddha creepy.
Because you're just holding him in front of you as I talk about demon summoning. But anyways, there was a very interesting change to Ben Sahar that we will perhaps learn more about with his eye and what he now sees, and this connection to this entity from the dark beyond. Dante checked in with him, asked if there was a problem. Ben was kind of cryptic in saying not yet. Then we reverted to Cass and Sarah at Club Anything, where they rendezvoused with Ben and had an interesting discussion about what had happened over the previous night. And Ben and Cass began a ritual to try to bring Pixie and Sal back home. As this was going on, Sarah had her first feeding experience, which, as a new Kindred, is always interesting to see what happens there with Angela, one of the employees at Ben's Club Anything. Go back and check out the episode. It was a great scene as Sarah came to terms with what it meant to feed.
And Charlotte found her next character.
Yes, as Charlotte identified someone that can be embraced soon. In the Umbra, Pixie was straight up hero mode and stayed with Sal to battle a monster, and the two of them overcame that obstacle in relatively epic fashion.
That was pretty cool.
And then attempted to make their way back home. As they were about to come home, an old friend reappeared. A ghost of an old friend reappeared in Sundown, and he shared some cryptic details about what had happened in Sarah's apartment the night that she was embraced. Talked about Decker and how he is fighting this three-headed snake of sorts, or we are fighting this three-headed snake of sorts. The Sabbat, Anarchs, Decker mentioned his fail-safes and backup plans. So just a bit of information about what the Tyrant Prince has done in Milwaukee and the things that are there. And I believe the closing line that I'll refer back to was, we learned a little bit about perhaps Pixie, and Sundown referred to her as Sis, and the look of shock on Abby's face was right around where we ended.
I'm calling tonight. Part 19, Born Under a Bad Sign. We're going to basically to allow for Abby to take the night off to fight Zeus in an epic battle. We're going to say that she has trouble sort of waking up from the ritual, from coming back from the Umbra. It's the Coterie is able to discern that like she's sort of back, but it's one of those like she just needs to sleep it off an extra night type thing. So she probably gets sort of one of those special rooms in Club Anything that Ben Sahar keeps as a sort of a panic room for vampires, for Kindred. And maybe even puts like an extra security detail on it a little bit, accidentally by way of Nails just sort of suddenly being in the club and just you go to tell Nails you're going to go home. Just smiles at you. Lifts eyebrows. Just one of these like sort of deadpan smiles. This is Nails' home now. Until Pix is fine. So little extra security shows up in that respect. We do have a couple sort of lingering issues from the evening that we were going to go through, but for the sake of sort of keeping the plot moving, what does Salvatore do? You can have. I'm going to give you pseudo ST powers right now. You get to be a little omnipresent and omniscient. Okay? Omnipotent. That was the one I was looking for. Sal's at like 4 hunger. You've got about half a night left.
4 hunger, 1 remaining unspent willpower, and he's taken 5 superficial damage. So Sal is in rough shape.
Paint me a picture with your words.
And as he comes back into, I imagine it's the office at Club Anything. You
notice the ruins of the bookshelves around. Ben Sahar looking more disheveled than you've ever seen them. So yeah.
I think there's the shadow of the roots. As Sal steps through, the roots kind of merge into the shadows of the room that had been trailing behind him in the umbra. His suit is just ripped. There is blood and gore and ectoplasm, covering his hands, which are now back to his normal hands. And you all see probably the beast just in his eyes. I mean, the slate black, full dilation of the pupils. And
yeah, I mean, they're not just looking at the sort of like pupil darkness. They're looking at this unnatural sort of forever night beyond the veil. That's what your pupils are dilated with, right? This is an unnatural darkness that's eclipsed your eyes when your beast shows. Something Sarah met once.
And Sal just like beyond snarls, and I mean it's not something he's going to satiate at the club. So I think there is a intention to come back here, but now he just has to get out and he has to find prey. And it's not often that someone isn't brought to him to feed on, or someone from his crew doesn't offer up blood. But tonight he is a predator hunting the streets near Club Anything. Looking for a drug dealer, a pimp, one of the just denizens of the night in Milwaukee that he sees as beneath him, and there will be no holding back. He will be satiating himself and taking every last bit of blood from his victim.
Sal would wander a moment, I imagine, and end up just outside of the sort of this sort of neighborhood that Club Anything is in, sort of starting to sort of transition elsewhere. Maybe ends up at one of those like 24-hour gas and gulp things, right? Where and I think you would maybe catch someone sort of running a small shakedown of the establishment, and I think that fits the bill for you. Sal doesn't hesitate. Sal is more beast than Sal right now, and the minute the person's sort of out of the lights of the parking lot, just by the throat, drags him into the alleyway, and the camera just cuts. We just hear the screams. The choking, gurgling screams. Maybe even Sal laughs a little bit, and it's not necessarily Sal laughing, it's this beast laughing. Finally coming out to play. In a way that Salvatore, on screen for us yet, hasn't let out. It's cold that night in Milwaukee. Drops about 10 degrees. Lake effect. What does the rest of the coterie do? And again, I'm going to give you pseudo-ST powers to sort of help clean this up. What do you think? So Sarah has her first feeding. Ben Sahar has a ritual. Ben Sahar is feeling more themselves now for a couple reasons. Having finally gotten the chip off their shoulder, finally getting some power back, so on and so forth. And Cass, probably concerned about picks, aware that Nails is in the club now. Tyler has I imagine Tyler giving the keys to Sarah, because Sarah was the one who had them in the first place, and being like, it's not pretty, but it'll get you to wherever you have arrangements to deal with it.
You know, funny you mentioned that. I was just thinking about grabbing the car. So, would I have been back at the office when Sal got back? Like, would I have seen him go?
Yeah. And Sarah would see that look in Sal's eyes, and Sal's become maybe like a surrogate figure in Sarah's life. But she remembers that look from the night at the rave. And she didn't know enough then to put it all together then. But you see this side of Sal that, like, well, I don't know how you'd feel.
There would be a little bit of concern there. So I would get the keys for the car, go to the car, and follow Sal just to make sure that nothing bad happens to him, because he doesn't seem to be himself right now, and he might need help.
Okay. Cass, what are you generally going to do?
I think Cass at some point would realize either like he'd check his person, then remember that he gave his trusty Colt 45 to Pixie, and he might like try like it, like looking through the van, whatever we came back in, and then look. No.
It was a car.
Looking through the car, looking through Jimmy's car, and then looking through, like doing a once over on Pix, and just realizing he doesn't have it, and then starting to like kind of like pace.
Yeah, Batty pops out of Pix's like coat or hoodie when you're like it gives you one of those like squawk subsonic squawks at this point, and you understand. You have a rapport with Batty. Batty's like, "What are you looking for, old man?"
The gun.
Oh, Pixie lost that. Don't you remember? Back at the werewolves. She crashed. Didn't see where it was going, or I didn't hear where it went. I was busy hanging on for my life, but. And Batty has that like big sister tone, kind of like scolding you.
Oh. Castle mouth. Like fuck. He kind of looks concerned down at Pix, and he's like, I gotta, you got this, Batty.
Damn right I do. She'll be fine. And Batty like spreads a wing over a little bit. And...
I gotta get this. Yeah. Later, if anybody asks, that's what I'm doing.
This is where you exit out. You're pacing a little bit. As you're leaving, you catch a glimpse of Nails like sitting over in the corner with a spotted cow beer, untouched but open, sitting in front of him, and reading like a Rolling Stone magazine from like the 1980s or something.
Good taste, old timer.
Just gives you a silent nod, and Nels doesn't talk. What's Ben Sahar do? I'd imagine maybe Ben Sahar spends the evening studying. But what, in your words?
Well, we're doing some more research stuff because we were working out on trying to figure out what sort of sire was. And also going to learn since I learned some stuff about picks, I have some research on a few things to sort that out more too.
All right. Ben Sahar, I'm going to let you go ahead and roll some dice for the evening. I'm going to let you ROLL play it a little bit since you're dealing with the loss of your heavy metal voice to various sweet rituals. But the show must go on.
Yeah, of course. The one thing you lose is the only thing I actually was going to use.
Well, what would you like to roll for this research?
Well, you could do intelligence investigation if you're referring to rolling about people.
Streetwise, if you're dealing... Streetwise is going to give you more specific information.
5 successes.
We'll learn the fruits of your labor in the future. Sarah, you follow Salvatore rather discreetly. Nagging on you is that Jimmy's ride has been sort of totaled.
Poor Jimmy.
It was gently used.
Best of times, it was the worst of times.
Would Salvatore in that sort of moment have thought to like look or lose a tail if one such a thing were to have crop up? I don't think Sarah's being particularly inconspicuous. No.
No. I think this is Sal blinded by
The beast.
the beast.
All right.
This isn't a cautious approach. This isn't a well thought out hit. This is, I need to eat. I need to kill.
It's about the time Salvatore comes out the alley that Sarah would spot him. She'd kind of lose him for a little bit, you know. You left after him. You had to get the car, and you see his form down the block, and he's not particularly sprite. Never really attempts to be, but he is in a hurry, and he knows these roads a little better than you. So you maybe lose him, and you see him coming out this alleyway. Maybe Salvatore back in control, not the beast. At 0 hunger, right? You drain this person dry.
Yeah.
Took everything. Maybe gonna call a guy to deal with the body later. Order takeout, right?
Actually, would take a minute to perform ashes to ashes. And
Ooh. Take us through what's ashes to ashes.
So it's one of his oblivion rituals where he expends vitae, so he's just fed, but it over a course of 3 turns will turn a corpse to ash. So anything that's left, it's only an opposed roll if it's like a animated corpse or something supernatural, but if it's purely immortal, it will reduce the corpse to ashes. And
this is a ritual? Do you have to rouse your blood over the course of the ritual?
I do have to. It's a rouse check to perform.
And some rituals say that you automatically like gain a hunger in it over the course of it. Is this one such ritual, or?
No, this is the vampire makes a rouse check to expend vitae, introduces the vitae to the corpse. Unless the corpse is animated, the body disintegrates over 3 turns with no test necessary. So it's...
All right. Ooh, I like that even better. All right, so go ahead and you're going to gain a hunger back.
I do gain 1 hunger back. The beast is always looking for its cut.
Forever. Yeah, they call it the Devil's Cut, and when the volume lost when they're distilling alcohol, right? Same thing. Oblivion's cut. You gain a hunger. The Beast cut. I think it's even more poignant. Sal comes out. Sal did not attempt to be clean in this. The Beast didn't care about your jacket, your your sort of tailored shirt. You come out of the alleyway just caked in blood. You can see it on Sal's face and maybe caked in his stubble and neck, and we have this like sort of half twister of dust and ash being kicked through and thrown around the alley and blowing in every which way, sort of silhouetting behind, almost like a cape behind Sal as Sal steps out onto the street and sees Jimmy's totaled wreck pulling up, one light working, one light not. And you see Sarah in the driver's seat through the completely open face of where a window should be.
Sal will approach the car, kind of through the windshield, over the
I'll let y'all have the scene here, because I got ganked by a dog. So you just repeat what you said so we get a clean.
Yeah, Sal will approach the car and, not needing a window to be rolled down or a door to be opened, over kind of that low rumble of Jimmy's car, which now probably has the occasional thunk, given what has happened to it. You followed me.
Well, I wanted to make sure you were all right. You didn't look like you were in a good place. Speaking of which, you look like a toddler that has just drank from a cup for the first time. Does Jimmy keep anything in here that you can clean yourself up to not draw attention?
There's probably a towel in the trunk, but I need to get home.
I will fiddle around for the trunk release to pop it. Yeah. If we get stopped by anyone, or if anyone takes a close enough look, we're not getting home. So before you get in this car, I need you to clean yourself up. Would Jimmy allow you in this car looking like that?
I was about to say, if anyone tries to stop us, they'll regret it. But your point is taken. And Sal will go, and there's likely, some towels, or at least
grease rag or something from
grease
him
rag,
fixing it up,
and get the worst of it off of at least his face and neck. Sal has not yet recovered from his wounds, however, so he is, although no longer hungry, there is some significant damage from his combat in the Umbra that will have to be, and Sarah would probably see that. I mean, these massive fangs of this creature that had sunk into his chest and shredded his arms. I mean, muscle and bone is likely exposed through the ripped suit jacket and shirt, beyond just the blood that was on the face.
I don't want to be an alarmist, but doesn't that hurt? Like, how do...
There is pain. I just need to get home. I can take care of it.
How?
You will your wounds to recover. You mend your muscle and bone. It's the power of the blood.
Then why can't you just will that now and have it all stitched up?
I'd like to be in a controlled environment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'll get you home. Hop in.
What are we gonna tell Jimmy?
Just leave that to me. We'll get you home, drop you off, you head inside, I'll bring Jimmy out back and break him the news that his car was the hero in the battle. It went down fighting right to the very end.
Build the lupine.
Yep. I think you still see a piece of the fur on the front grill.
We'll have to frame that for him.
As an aside, did we actually hit? Was the werewolf hit with the car?
It was killed with the car. It was
Yeah.
like the killing blow. It was the literal car.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
Um,
It'll be a small consolation that his car was the hero. Yeah, I just feel that I can relay that to him a bit better than you may be able to right now in your current state.
I was going to just buy him a new car.
Well, yeah, that's to be expected, but he seemed pretty attached to this one from what I've seen.
Better you than me.
I mean, I gotta earn my keep somehow, right?
I think Jimmy likes having you around.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad somebody appreciates my presence right now, because I'm having doubts about my own, but I'm sure that'll pass.
We still need to get the proof to Decker.
Do we have the...
Oh, the Sabbat's like in the trunk at like in a discreet package. Part of Tyler's
carpet?
part of Tyler's handiwork. And
So what do we do with the guy in the trunk when we get back to the house? Do we have somewhere else that we can drop him off, or are we making him a house guest?
I'll put him in storage. Tommy can watch him.
Are you directing Sarah to the freezer?
It will drive to the freezer, yeah.
Sarah, I want you to roll an intelligence streetwise. You've lived in Milwaukee a while, so you know the roads pretty decently. If you don't have streetwise, you still have one die in this pool to navigate. Call it the townie bonus.
Okay, so you said intelligence plus streetwise?
Correct.
That gives me 3 dice.
I'm giving you the townie bonus still. So you have 4 dice. This is to everyone in Milwaukee knows a couple of the roads you just take on certain nights where you've had that extra beverage or your tail lights out and you don't want to give anyone an excuse. Milwaukee's cops are, in the best of times, not known for their discretion. They've got a bit of a reputation for something that 4 successes and streetwise will certainly take care of.
Yeah, for some reason that didn't roll and show up for me, so I was kind of confused. And that just refreshed, and there it is.
Salvatore tells you, the place, basically mentions some deli. You're like, that deli's always closed, from your townie knowledge. And, you know it, though. And you take, you get off the main roads. The non-conspicuous ones, just knowing when you should drive past this friend's dorm instead of, that gas station sort of thing, right? Just light variations, because if you take too many deviations, you look suspicious too. So, Sarah plays it perfect. She gets to the deli. You unload the body. Tomlin's there. Has a newspaper upside down. Looking at the Brewers scores upside down. We're still sort of back in time a little bit from where we are currently in our reality. So it's the first few games of the season. They're not looking too hot right now.
At least you're not trying a crossword, Tommy.
Words. And you see he gestures over to the corner, and the crossword puzzle's been like shredded, ripped up, and crumpled, and you can see where he's squiggled to try to remember his motor function to write on the crossword puzzle. And then he points at the brewer score. Jam. P. Holds up a thumb.
Sure. Nobody comes in or out other than us.
Then he gives the 2 thumbs up. Deliberately 2 thumbs up after pointing at each one of you. You get the understanding that under these directions, Jimmy, the Coterie, nobody else but you two. Doesn't matter if it's your sire themselves.
Oh, fuck him. Respectfully, of course.
Well, we haven't gotten like the big reveal necessarily with that, right? Hey, shout outs to Travis if you're there on Chat Gang tonight, though. No reason.
I think I would go to the back of the trunk and try and get the body out. Like, seeing that everyone's kind of been able to do some pretty amazing things, figure why not try to see if I can, I don't know, pick up a body.
Well, you've heard this thing more than a few times, said in a few different ways. Rouse the blood, power of the blood, use your blood. And with just, Sarah's intelligent. She's educated.
Yeah.
Look, wrong degree, but she's working. Right. The understanding that you can call on the powers of your blood to like sort of get these temporary surges of just like sort of core strengths, if you will, is something that you've started to sort of have an understanding of. You've seen it sort of regularly enough. You've heard it in enough context, so you could rouse your blood to gain 2 dice to a strength test. That, in so many words, I meant to say that less meta. You have an understanding that you could use your blood to maybe like strengthen your muscles in sort of a direct sense or something like that, like you've seen the rest of the Coterie do. But I feel like you're maybe reaching for something deeper. Like Sarah's, after that burst of speed, after her manipulation of the shadows. Is your character sheet uploaded in the...
It is.
That's the journal. Is it under Elizabeth? Test? Nope, that's the wrong one.
Nope.
NPC's player characters. Hey! Liz, Sarah. Potence. Whoa. That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
So. Damn, Sarah's stacked. So.
Yeah, because I remember in, like, Vampire Revised and whatnot, they had a bit of a rating for, like, each dot of strength would equate, like, you're able to do this, do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, I got 2 in strength, and while I'm not, like, Pixie's frail little 1, I'm still not a powerhouse in any means.
Yeah, but you have 3 dots in potence. You have lethal body. You have brutal feed. Like...
Don't give away all of my secrets.
Sorry. The point is Sarah's got that strength you were talking about. And so what I'm going to do, because she's not like necessarily like learned her ability or knows exactly what she's going for willfully, I'm going to let her rouse her blood. So you can roll a rouse. with your blood potency. I think you're rolling 2 because you're fine there. All right, so you've roused your blood. This thing that's been said a lot, but rather than going for like a straight sort of just like enhancement to her musculature and stuff like that, she taps into something deeper. And I'm going to let you add your dots of potency directly to your strength athletics pool to lift this body.
All right.
So you're going to be rolling 5 plus whatever. As Sarah doesn't just feel like her musculature enhance. She taps into something deeper, something like otherworldly. She pulls this definitional, supernatural strength from somewhere, beyond her frame, beyond her blood.
Okay, so let's see if this will work.
From the beast within, its strength.
Sal gives
solid
us
5.
a low whistle as he sees kind of Sarah lift this corpse out of the trunk, expecting it to be a struggle.
Like Sarah's decently active, maybe does yoga, I don't know. Right? She is in protest. She's had to run from the cops a few times. She stays in shape. Nothing she has ever lifted has ever been this light. There's a body in there, and you're like second guessing on whether there is or not, as you just like effortlessly pluck this carpet roll with a corpse inside just from the trunk with 2 hands. It doesn't even like the physics of it don't even like work right as you just sort of like pick it up, and it doesn't like flop or bend. It's like a cartoon. There's nothing. Pluck it from the trunk.
She starts to hear. The hell is this?
Appears that you're a bit stronger than you look.
Yeah, I think that's putting it mildly.
I would ask if you need me to get the door, but I assume you can open that too.
Yeah, they taught us in preschool how to turn door handles. Where am I taking this? Now look around just to make sure that no one's really...
No, Sal's got tends to have sweepers on the blocks, people that are paid in the area to make sure that attentions are turned sideways, and it's just part of the minute the car came pulling up, there's a couple people outside suddenly, chatting to some neighbors about stuff, and a couple, people making sure that other people went to the other side of the street and stuff, like things like that. Subtle.
Right in the back, there's a walk-in freezer. We'll dump it in there. Throw a padlock on it in case he wakes up.
Well, shouldn't he... weren't you saying something about what happens when we're staked?
I don't know that this one's gonna be a problem anyways, but if you want, we could put a chair leg through his chest. And Sal gets this kind of gleam in his eye.
There happens to be a chair kind of busted up in one of the dumpsters nearby. No legs, weirdly enough. But those little rungs in between the chair back, that might suffice in a pinch.
I don't know, like, he's knocked out right now, right? Like, he's unconscious.
Torpor, as it's called.
Torpor.
What's that, like, unconscious?
We can take a beating, but at a certain point, even the powers of our blood isn't enough. And before the final death, you're in the state of torpor. It can last years.
So if you had your ass handed to you just a little bit more, you would end up in torpor? Or you would have been in torpor?
A bit more, yes. However, if it seems like something fun, I wouldn't mind seeing you stake him. I'm here to indulge you.
Oh,
This is your gift to the prince of the city.
it's kind of
Sabbat on his
heavy to lay
doorstep.
that at my feet.
I'm sorry. It's Sabbat here in Milwaukee.
Well, what's the plan with him? Like, is he the evidence, or...
I think we could probably use a slightly stronger case, but in a pinch, we drop this at the prince's feet. We tell Arjun Shaw to shut the fuck up, and we walk out of there.
Oh God, if Elizabeth was here right now, she would have words for you. She never was down with that. But
Sometimes there's a place for words, and sometimes there's a place for results. This is a result. The prince turned a blind eye to a threat within his city.
all right. I guess since training wheels are still on, what can I use? Does it have to be wood? Can I use a pole?
It has
Pipe.
to be wood.
Hello, stereotypes.
And Sal will kind of go over to the dumpster, seeing the chair conveniently there, and just kind of rake off, the end to get kind of a sharpened point if it's not already there.
You do with relatively little ease. They just don't build them like they used to back in your day.
Mm-mm. This is an oak. And we'll head in, outside of the freezer. We can unbag or unroll, if you will, the body.
It occurs to Sarah that this deli looks pretty big from the outside. The storefront is basically the counter, and it is 3/4, if not like 4/5 freezer. This place it's got like the classic like Rocky punching the meats on a hook thing in the back, all chilled, and it's got the couple different walk-in freezers and some ice boxes just in case. And Sal, how many projects do you got working on in here?
It's probably a handful, probably 3 or 4.
Let's take Sarah inside the paint me a picture as a wordsmith. I know you have some GMing, STing experience yourself. She's just walked into a codas workshop where he keeps some rituals, where he keeps some future we don't say the Z word.
Henchmen.
Right.
Hench people.
Right.
So likely as Sarah takes in the actual, rack of ribs, sides of beef, what have you, there's metal, almost like you would see at a morgue, those kind of rolling tables, and stacked on, kind of in a row. There's probably 3 or 4 corpses with body bags, pulled up over, but it's clear it's a corpse. There's likely, a Foot Locker that is closed, but not, there's not like ash and skull fragment, and it's well kept. But it is clear that these bodies have been washed and prepared in some way. If one of them were to say an arm is dangling off a bench and there's some surgical tools, probably some sutures, and because you do need to keep the body intact before you reanimate.
Amazing. And Sarah takes this as she effortlessly carries this carpet past a couple of these slabs towards one of the walk-in freezers.
Should I be calling you Dr. Frankenstein?
I don't put them together.
Just take them apart?
No. Bring them to life.
I'm not sure I see the difference, Doctor.
You've seen Tommy.
Tommy's staring listlessly at the crossword puzzle, like in the corner, and then turns the paper right side up and begins reading the box scores. Go on.
He has been reanimated. He was a band manager. We found his body in wreckage and ruin. He talked far too much, so I thought it would be fitting to bring him back in this way. That is what we do. They call us the necromancers. These
As
are
an
just
aside,
waiting for time. When the time is right and I can bring them back to the house, I can join my family.
I guess that makes sense.
So Sarah was just in so many words told. I don't know how what her functional understanding of like pop culture nerd tropes and stuff is. Necromancer's probably not in the common parlance. I know it is in ours as nerds. Maybe she's seen Evil Dead or something, the Necronomicon or something. I don't know. I leave it up to character and player agency here on how familiar she might be. But that's got to be a little wild. Like, I know the werewolves kind of blew her mind. She's overall been taking the vampire thing a little better, but she's had time to be primed by Elizabeth. Their relationship's been, going on for a while. And Elizabeth has a way about her of, really helping the medicine go down easy. She's got that presence to deliver that. Sal does not have her grace. And he just said he's a Hakata. They're necromancers, and that he's raising a family. Which is one of my favorite memes on the world. Necromancers, we just want to make friends and raise a family. Come on. But anyway. How does that hit Sarah? Like, she's got her own discipline. Does she understand that she's not Hakata like Sal? Like, I wonder how she's processing this and how she's sorting through this in her head as she kind of like unfurls this carpet in this walk-in freezer within the refrigerated area, right?
She feels some, I don't want to say kinship with Sal, but it feels like there are a few points where they do kind of click on. She's not thinking that they're of the same, like, she's not drawn to some of the same things as what he is, like with his zombie and family. That just doesn't click with her.
Yeah, the macabre just kind of fires a little bit.
Yeah, and after the earlier showing of Shadows doing her bidding, that's kind of solidified that with her a little bit more. But after seeing all this and kind of knowing a little bit of what's what, hearing what he has to say isn't phasing her as much right now.
Okay.
I mean, she's carrying a body, with no issues. So at this point, what else can get thrown at her that is going to throw her off? At least tonight. Like, that's been a heavy fucking night.
Yeah, it has been. So, as you contemplate this, as maybe Sal hands you the steak?
Take it from him.
Classic cut. Slam the steak into the chest, and we cut to Cass in the alleyway.
But before that,
all right.
Right before it plunges in, I would stop. Turn to Sal's like, do you ever know what Elizabeth's last name was? Because this is kind of funny and weird all at the same time. You ever watch the Dracula movies? Mina Harker, Jonathan Harker. And then at that point, I'll plunge the stake into the heart.
Sal doesn't chuckle often, but he's laughed a few times tonight, and this is one more where just the kind of the way the world works, as Sarah shares that.
And then she'll start chuckling too after it happens. Like, fuck.
We hear the
what a night.
Even better cut then. So we hear the chuckling, the steak, and then we just get a massive burst of an expletive from Cass. Cue Cass. just fuck somewhere downtown Milwaukee, as it's the scene when Raphael loses a scythe, and I think he says shit because that's what they can get. Go ahead.
Damn.
That's what they could get away in it was PG-13, right? And that was like,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Cass happens to be standing next to a sewer when he says "damn," and it like echoes through the sewer, and you're in the streets outside the wreck. It's kind of like revisiting the scene of a crime. It's got the I can't make like a serial killer joke. You're in Milwaukee. Serial killer always comes back. Like it, and here you are, back with where the car wrecked. The glass is still on the pavement, but most of it's been cleaned up pretty quickly. It's downtown. The emergency responders did their stuff. I mean, Water Street's part of the bread and butter of Milwaukee, and that's near here. They can't disrupt the traffic. It was a Minnesota Twins game with the Brewers earlier on today, so a bunch of people come down from Minneapolis. Some people come up from Chicago. Like, it's one of the bigger games that they can have. A big transient population means a lot of money being spent in Milwaukee, and even Decker's aware of that. So, it's apart from the glass that tells you the story of what happened tonight. It's another, Thursday night in Milwaukee, downtown, off Water Street. And you've since looked around the area. I'm just going to give you that you scoured it. You did, the best anyone can do with any sort of normal investigation, which only leaves the cobweb, the Madness Network, Auspex. If that gun were here, you would have found it the normal way.
Okay. I mean, Cass, this does definitely have like emotional significance to him and everything. So
do you care to take us behind the screen a little bit? Why is Cass so fixated on the 45?
It's been with him as long as he can remember, which admittedly isn't terribly far, but in everything that he thinks at his memories and his whole time in Milwaukee, he's had this gun.
I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty constant, and it reminds him that he, I don't know, has a past in a way, because he can't really trust his mind. He's not really sure what's past or what's supposed to be the future, or what's real, what's not all the time. What he's imagined. So yeah,
but it's a physical object.
Yes, and it seems to be older and worn. There's no like special markings or anything on it. might be chipped in a couple places from where you pistol whip people or something like that. But it's his gun though, so.
All right. So you have a handful of abilities at your disposal through the Madness Network. You have your own particular Malkavian way about auspex that doesn't always come through in dice in a game like this, but as Cass is sort of out here on the streets, sort of almost as he's been searching, we get glimpses of a reality from the night before, as real to Cass as any part of the night has been. Even Cass standing in the glass, like he's watching the car crash go past him, and it is as physical and real as, well, just about everything but that cult. And I mean, I guess that's kind of the problem, isn't it? A memory from just tonight is this vivid. The only way you know that it's a memory is that you're standing outside the car this time and not in it. When you see Caius's body get driven into that wall right there, and you look over and you can see the pockmarks of the tires up over the curb, and you can see where a couple of the bricks have been crunched and crumpled from the bumper hitting, and the rest of the bricks should be taken out, but instead there's just a little bit of a shift in the mortar from where that massive, at that point, sort of steel-furred body was driven into the wall. But damn, that Milwaukee brick holds up. And you're looking around, and now you're maybe rousing the blood.
Okay. I think... I wonder if Spirit's Touch would yield anything. By touching an inanimate object or the ground at a location, the vampire can sense the emotional residue left by those who have handled that object or visited that location in the past. The user gains insight. I know this is probably more specific, but the user gains insight into not only that person, but also what was done and under what circumstances. While rarely crystal clear, the information often provides leads impossible to gain from regular forensics and deduction.
This is the exact use of this ability, quite frankly.
Okay.
You put your hand into some of that, like, shattered glass, and pain is dull to a vampire's undead body, but you can feel it press into you. And maybe even, if that's where your arteries were pumping the normal way, you might even be leaving a little bit of blood, and that's how hard you press into that glass as you touch the pavement below it, the cold surface. Like I said, tonight just feels a little bit colder than it should. Fucking lake effect.
So I'm past my rouse check, and so then I'm rolling auspex plus intelligence.
Mm-hmm. And you are one of the folks in the coterie with a higher blood potency, so remember you add for essentially active dice checks like this, you add a portion of your, it's usually half rounded down, of your blood potency to the roll.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just kind of one of the rule of thumbs when I was revisiting all of the rules and trying to catch back up for all the combat sessions.
That's 5 successes.
Okay. What was that music video I referenced the one day from the Spice Girls? That happens a little bit where, like, the lights blur past you in real time, or in, like, time lapse. The lights of the streets and we see the sort of the rhythmic pulsing of the street lights a block down, and time just sort of seems to go backwards and forwards around Cass in all directions. You can even see the glass kind of reassembling itself into Jimmy's precious ride before it was impacted by a Sabbat vampire heading through the windshield and all kinds of things. And in the chaos of that, we see Pixie's fighting her beast, arguing with it as she gets behind the wheel of the car to try to save the coterie moments before you drove that same car from Jimmy, and you're sort of like almost like Cass is like actively like sort of willing and sifting through time through his own memories, and they're getting in the way. No, I can't think about me. No, others were here. I'm never reliable anyway. Like, my memories are never reliable anyway. There. And you start zooming out. And suddenly you're baddie. In Pixie's pocket as she's going upside down. And you see the Colt fly out the passenger seat of the Honda she was in when she hit the fire hydrant. And it scatters, slides over next to the very same gutter you swore into earlier this evening. And there it sits. And you sit in the pocket of Pix as she loses herself to the beast, and you're sort of watching the world through sonar colors, through a kaleidoscope of noise. This isn't the world as humans see it. This is the world as a bat sees it. So it's all blobs and blurs and stuff like that. But the gaze in this situation is fixated on that cult, and it sits right there as you hear the screams of yourself, of Salvatore, of even Sarah hefting the roof off of that Honda to try to save Pix, and then we're tumbling again as Batty, and the gun stays there until moments before the ambush. And we see someone in a yellow burlap jacket reach down and grab it. Army jacket, faded with time, more of a desert camo, like I said, in the yellow vein. And she puts it into her inner coat pocket. No one sees her. She walks in slow motion. Or maybe the world's in slow motion around her. Back into the alley. Grabs her head set off where she set it down. Puts it on. As the ambush is out. There's the leader. Now, she radios to Thompson. And Batty hears it in ultrasonic. It's cacophonous. It shatters the reality these things you're picking up. And then you hear all the gunfire the way Batty heard it. And you feel the fear Batty felt. Not just from this symphony of bullets, but for her friend. Friends. And you're back in your senses.
Did I recognize that person?
Yeah, that was Rubiana. She's Clan Nosferatu, the Anubi's chief strategist.
All right. And she could probably be found in Decker's court.
I mean, she's part of Decker's court, and in the general sense, they don't particularly convene anywhere that's convenient, but she's got her haunts. The Anubi have a couple bars they like more than others. Rubiana is known to hang around the Sabbatical, a sort of free zone in Milwaukee. Elysium for all, as it's called. One rule: don't fuck with each other here. You take that shit elsewhere. From the kind proprietor. And when a kind has that much pull with all of the things that go bump in the night, and people don't know why or how, they really don't want to figure out. But word on the street is that Reyes is a mage. They know things. For those of you in the audience, there might be one mage in Milwaukee. If Reyes is that mage, that's kind of a big deal. There might be more if there's other goings-ons, and Milwaukee, I assure you, does have them. But for one to be the mage, it's kind of a big deal. That's the rumor, anyway. I mean, who the hell else could keep a bunch of monsters from killing each other at a stupid fucking goth club?
Okay, so gruffly demanding it back is not going to work. All right. Even Cass would realize that. I mean, he's kind of desperate for it. I gotta run all the way back. I gotta talk to Ben. They might know what to do. They might know this mage.
We'll cut to Ben.
Or at least the club, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Articulating out loud to the visions of Batty, like, in the moment, maybe. Cass talking to themselves is actually, like, kind of the most perfect plot device in the world. And we cut to Ben Sahar having finished cleaning up their office with a fresh notebook fully filled underneath their arm that they're going to have to go through the notes of a little bit later. The time's moved on a little bit. Cass has entered. Just because you haven't talked I'm trying to preserve your voice, but I'm also trying to keep you part of it. And it's been a while. Club Anything's winding down for the evening. Pretty much the only patrons left here are the people hell-bent on closing Club Anything, because you give out bumper stickers if they do. I closed anything. I finished anything is what it says. And it's like, like a big deal. And then nails. Still reading the same page of that Rolling Stone. But, like, getting new information, and, like, it's... If you didn't know any better, Nails is reading, like, some archaic tome the way his face is moving through that one magazine page. As if something's whispering to him as he reads it. As if something else is on its cover. Who knows? We'll never know with Nails, really, will we? Cass walks past the people hell-bent on getting those, like, 10 bumper stickers that Tyler has left because, god damn it, their hands have been full tonight. And you maybe rap on the office door upstairs, and this is where, like, Ben Sahar notices the Lilith painting. Just a fragment actually off kilter before. You didn't notice it before. Maybe Dante just leaving, just, like, tipped it a little bit just to fuck with you, because that would be his little joke toward you, to be like, yo, lighten up some. Maybe message received. Who knows? And just right as you fix it, Cass raps on the door. When suddenly there came a rapping as a Melkavian gently tapping on my office door.
It's all together. I'm gonna go ahead and go open the door.
Hey, Ben. What's happening?
What?
All right. I'll just get to the point. What do you know about the sabbatical and who runs it? I might have to go there and, well, this isn't really my MOS. I need to get something back, and I need to ask nicely.
I have a question. Is anything in this century your MOS?
Oh, yeah. Like C4? Definitely. But I can't C4 this problem away. And he'll sort of look down at his feet.
Pun XP!
I mean,
It's like force. I can't foresee. Like, okay, all right.
I mean, a building blows up just on its, almost enough C4.
Right, but I might need something in that building. All right, look, you know my gun. You've seen the gun, the Colt. I need that back. It has to be that one. It has to be. And I think Rubiana. I think she took it.
And you think she went to this place?
I've heard she hangs out there sometimes. And I think it would maybe be better there than in front of Decker to ask for it back.
Why are you shy about the gun size?
It just has, I just need it.
I mean, you weren't doing anything wrong with it when you lost it, were you?
Killing wolves.
I mean, that's kind of what makes Decker hard these days.
Yeah. I just, yeah. Maybe she doesn't know that it's mine. I don't know. I don't know. But, like, I'm not as good as the whole politic, champagne glasses, all that thing kind of thing.
We can go check it out.
Plus, you have a way of knowing things. So, yeah, I figured you'd be the one to go to.
So, Ben? Ben opens up, goes over and discreetly, pulls out a book, and you expect, a cavern to extend down into some sort of ritual chamber. No, it's like a spare closet with just, tons of outfits on display. It occurs to you that the sun's coming fast, though, so maybe this is a tomorrow thing, but you'd still like to look better before you go to bed anyway. So, yeah, Ben Sahar, they pluck the perfect suit for the evening. Do you have an idea of what that might be? I just learned ancient secrets and made a pact with a demon from the Outer Dark that might be trying to kill the whole coterie. What outfit says that?
I mean, I was just gonna wear Dockers and a collared button-up shirt. I wasn't gonna go crazy. Gotta be unassuming when you cause world-ending evil.
That so fits. It just fits.
And brown leather shoes. Speaking of Doc Martens.
Sellouts. I'm wearing my Solaveres, thank you. All right. They're not for posers. Doc Martens are for
but those won't match. That's a little too gritty for
yeah.
This.
Yeah, the derbies are a little too. Yeah, all right. It occurs to you that last call in Milwaukee is sufficiently late in a city run by vampires. But they've probably crested that, and you're running out of moonlight, nighttime. So that might be a tomorrow night thing. You also understand that you're on a bit of a time crunch to not get Sarah's head cut off, as it was implied to you, and to not get your own asses in deep with Arjun and potentially Decker. How do you delicately inform Cass that sabbatical might have to wait till tomorrow?
But she likes Sarah.
The green bean? Undecided. She seems alright. she needs to get through basic and all that. But yeah,
So she won't get through basic if we don't go to talk to Decker before we go to sabbatical. She's going to get a forceful ejection.
dishonorable discharge. All right.
There's going to be so much discharge.
Castle chuckle a little bit at that. All right.
And she's going to go,
I feel naked. Should I just go naked? Because that's how I feel. That was a bad joke. Anyways, yeah, you're right. We'll go. We'll go do that first.
I'm going to go ahead and try to reach out to Sal's contact number he gave me when we were planning evil tree things.
The is this Jimmy's number, or do you have a different number, Sal?
It's Jimmy's number, but I believe Sarah had the phone, or Sarah had the phone.
Sarah has it right now.
Yeah. So we're probably heading out the back.
I was going to be like, we cut to like the phone ringing in the seat as Sarah's pulling into that like parking slab next to the conspicuously not used garage that your house also has access to, right? Like it's got the like 2-stall parking slab in the
there's
back.
There's a lot of lawn furniture in the garage. Okay.
Yeah. No, I assumed. Yeah, and like like various like Halloween decorations and stuff, and
Yeah, Christmas lights, the inflatable Santa.
Yeah. We know that the garage doesn't get used for actual vehicles anymore. It's just like all the blow up, like inflatable decorations. Yeah. So we're like pulling in right as Sarah, the phone you almost forgot you still had, rings, and it distorts just a little bit for affect as you grab it and you see the screen. This is Jimmy's phone, and we determine that Jimmy actually has a proper smartphone.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, I forgot that was there. Can you answer this?
Yeah.
Your hand, even handing it over, like the screens like waft and like get pixelated because touchscreen and sometimes vampire.
Yeah, Sal attempts to click answer or whatever you do on a phone. He's used to Jimmy doing that.
Did Jimmy or did you have Jimmy save Ben Sahar as a code name, or would it just have been Ben Sahar?
Yeah. Do I have to share that with the group though?
What does Sarah see on the phone?
Oh, cult guy.
Yeah, it says cult guy on the phone.
Cult guy?
Yes, Ben. Code name.
Ah, must be important.
Sal will answer the call.
Ben, you're a little surprised to hear Sal on the other side instead of Jimmy, the operator.
Ben. Sal.
You talk on the phone? Jesus Christ.
Jimmy's, not here.
The operator's not here right now. You got me directly. Oh my God. Sorry.
You have a way with words, Sal. You are a wordsmith.
I'm sorry I left in a bit of a hurry.
Well, we need to go resolve the situation with Decker because our Malkavian is having a bad reaction.
No? Or tomorrow night?
I'm saying we better hurry because he needs something in a very bad way.
You think we have enough time to get to Decker?
We have to hurry.
Shit, we have to get the body. Dropped it off.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Proof, right?
Yeah.
Cass, you're aware that you have Pix's phone and it has a video on it.
Oh yeah, we also got. He'll sort of like jiggle the phone.
Hello Kitty.
Oh, my favorite.
Where should we meet you?
Well, is the baseball game over?
Yeah.
Then we'll probably have to go to.
Actually, no. I
Elysium.
love the harmony of the baseball game being a night game. It went into extra innings. I don't know if this is canonical of the spring games, if they had one that went into like.
Well, if the Brewers game is still going, we'll meet there.
I love that so much more. Like it's in extra innings, and I'm gonna like do that. Yeah, that's so much more thematic.
Line up a different car and meet you there.
What do you mean, body? We just dropped that thing off. We're not going back to get it, are we?
Ben says Cass is antsy. We need to take care of the business with Decker tonight.
Fuck, why didn't we know about that half an hour ago?
We as a coterie have a bit of a communication breakdown at times. I'll find us another car, though. Do you want to talk to Jimmy before we go?
Yeah.
You see Jimmy on the back porch as he asks that, and he's like sitting there with, you'll have to forgive him, a Miller Lite. And he's just standing on the back porch. And it's one of those like sort of like, you know, sort of like half step porch, big wooden deck sort of things that extends to. Did you have a duplex or a townhouse or something like
one of those townhouses on the lower
yeah,
east side?
Yeah. And so it extends to like, you know, like a couple of the other, you know, segments of the townhouse, or you know, and they've got the banisters in between. And he's like out there like leaning and smoking a cigarette, because ghouls can still smoke like without having to rouse their blood. He's like smoking like a I don't know, jar on black or something to be like super metal. And you just like, and you've seen like the amount of ash is like half the cigarette now. And he's got the Miller Lite. And he's just like, be strong, Jimmy. Be strong. And he's been like looking at the car for like at least half that jar on black.
So Sal just kind of rests his hand on Sarah's shoulder and says, "Good luck," and starts finding one of the other contacts to line up a ride to the Deli to then Miller Park.
Yeah, you know Sammy Sedan. He's got to hook up with some vehicles.
We've wrecked his cars before. It's not the first one.
How did he take it the other times? Like what?
Poorly. He gets attached. Cars are his thing. You know, before he started working for me, he stole them.
Huh.
One of my guys did some time with him.
I mean, everybody has to make a living somehow. Mouth to feed.
He was good at it.
What does he like? Does he like chocolate? Does he like flowers? What makes him happy?
Ours.
Aside from cars, what would make him happy? What can I procure in the next 5 minutes before I have to talk to him? That will make this a little bit easier.
He likes playing cards.
Does he have a set of his own?
Sometimes the guys have a game. Tuesday nights.
Yeah, so at that point, I'll get out. I'll head to the convenience store, buy him a chocolate bar, and a pack of cards, or smokes, or both. Yes, both. Both. And then get back. And I'll make eye contact with him as I'm leaving. It's like, yeah, I see you, see me, see you.
Jimmy likes cards and cars.
I've ran to the corner store, which is about 2 blocks away by Sal's Reckoning. Yeah, I picked him up a pack of cigarettes and a chocolate bar and a pack of playing cards.
That's a very important question. What chocolate bar?
Jimmy seems like a big Turk kind of guy.
That sounds like a Canadian candy bar.
You don't have it down there?
No. No, but Jimmy loves it.
Yeah, no, it's his favorite. What is a Big Turk? Real quick.
It's like a Turkish delight covered in chocolate.
What's Turkish delight?
Oh my god.
I
Fucking Americans.
No, that's a me not knowing what a Turkish delight is. Americans know what Turkish delights are. Someone else in chat could explain that. Maybe. I don't know. All right, what's a Turkish delight now? Because nobody's like, I thought somebody else could be like, oh.
I don't know. I think we've gone down this rabbit hole only to prove that Jimmy definitely spent some time in Edmonton when he had to get out of the country for a while, or somewhere in Canada. So
Yeah.
that we can tie this in to his backstory.
I mean, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to have him jump the border to Windsor on the other side of Detroit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and also Elizabeth's influence in the city of Milwaukee might have helped them import some Big Turk bars.
Big Turk, yeah.
Yeah,
In case of emergency.
that just seems.
All right, so now on to the Jimmy.
That was my favorite tangent ever, by the way. Thank you so much. I feel like I learned something. You know, I like.
Yeah.
All right, so you come back, you take a trip to the corner store.
And there's these few awkward minutes where Sal is staying in the car and Jimmy is on the porch. Sal doesn't get out to talk to Jimmy, waiting for Sarah to come back.
And Jimmy, being a family man, right, respects your distance. He's not going to approach you. You didn't call him over. And if the boss didn't say... But you can just... He's lit up like a second cigarette by now, and this one he's actually like smoked, and you can see him like shaking his head, and then like and you can see him like kind of like bobbing, and then like you can see him physically moving his head in directions to agree and disagree with himself and reason it, and then you can see him going through the whole like head bob range of emotions.
Yeah, Sal doesn't get uncomfortable often, but he's very uncomfortable right now.
And by the time Sarah sort of comes back up the alleyway with like the one light on the one far end, you know, where we can see her sort of enter the frame, Jimmy's reserved himself, and he's got the sort of like hands clasped over the wrist type thing with the cigarette over the banister. And he just looked at the grass for the last 5-10 minutes. And Sarah, you come into that. Sal, still sitting in the car.
Yeah, on the phone, calling Sammy, trying to line up a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. Important business stuff. Sitting in the back seat too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awkwardly climbed over the seat just to be able to get back there a little bit further to put a little bit more distance in between him and Jimmy.
And you see Jimmy, and you come around the corner with like a, case of brew and like a little like bag of, like brown paper bag with surprises.
No beer this night.
Oh, no beer. I'm sorry.
No beer.
Okay. It's cigarettes and Turkish delight,
And playing cards.
All right.
So you, I'm sure, have seen your car by now.
Oh, hey Sarah, how's it going, Sarah?
It's okay. You don't have to make the small talk. This is gonna be hard.
Look, it's hard to describe. Okay, like I knew this day would come, right? You're the grease man, one of the best bosses in the business. This day comes. Just thought a little bit more time with her. That's it. I named her Vera.
After any person in particular, because I get Pink Floyd tunes going through my head with that name.
Oh
Same.
shit! You love Pink Floyd too?
You know what I did, right? I worked at the frickin' radio station. I played that shit
Oh
all the time. All the time.
Yeah, I forgot. Hardcore Sarah, right?
Yeah.
Sundays noon to 2.
Not anymore.
Yeah, condolences. And he like takes a sway. He like reaches down in the cooler he's got underneath him. He kicks it open like a pro. Grabs another of his Miller Lights, cracks it open. And he drinks to punctuate it. You know, they say when you turn, when you're promoted, it all tastes like piss water. So
I haven't tried yet, so I'm not too certain.
no, just.
But here, you know,
I used to drink the good shit. I'm just preparing myself.
yeah.
And now we get why he drinks Miller Lite.
Yeah, I think I've had some of the good shit, but I'm gonna find out a little bit more about that one. I'll have to experiment a little bit, but we'll see. Anyway,
That seemed a little ominous. You're not talking about beer there, are you?
Anyway, I picked you something up from the store. Like, I know it doesn't cover off what happened to Vera, but there's a story with that. But here, and then I'll take the paper bag and hand it to Jimmy. Let him open it up, see the cigarettes, see the playing cards, and the chocolate bar. You know what? That chocolate bar in there, I don't think I've ever seen it here before until this one store, and weird, right?
Holy shit! I never get presents, but Big Turk, the fuck? They don't sell these in Milwaukee. That's some the Edmonton shit.
Look at black market chocolate bar right there. Savor that one.
How'd you know?
Something just called out. It's like, you know what? Jimmy would like that one.
Huh. This is my favorite, right? Like one time, it was before Sal. I was, doing some driving up north, as we like to say, and we got some stuff, and we had to lay low a little bit, and all we had to fucking eat was these goddamn chocolate bars. Dude's kid bought, all in the glove box, and you'd think I'd hate the fuckers, but you know what happened? We lived. We got away. Loved them. To me, this tastes like freedom. And he he bites the wrapper off and he takes a bite. Like the little bits fall out and stuff. And he's shit. That's right. Y'all separate them.
Yeah, like it's solid. Like it's like a thick jelly, which takes you a little bit to actually chew through. So while he's chewing through it, like, you know what?
Oh yeah, and he's trying to keep the story going.
Yeah, the car, Vera, she went out like a frickin' champ. If you get up close to it, you'll probably see a little bit of the marks that were left on it, but you might also find a little patch of fur. She took out a fucking werewolf. Fucking werewolf. Final fucking hit.
Huh.
So you couldn't ask for any better ending than to down a fucking werewolf. Maybe we can talk Sal into giving you a place on the wall to put the grill or the license plate. Might get the little patch of fur framed, a little pelt of the werewolf.
And he doesn't even look at the cigarettes. He just rips it off and lights it. And I ain't giving up on Vera. She ain't give up on me. I'm gonna fix her. I'm gonna fix her better than new. That's what Hakata do, eh? Bring it back every time.
I'll take your word for it.
Little does Jimmy know, he won't be embraced into Hakata anymore. Oops.
Well, if there's anything that we can help with, and I'll kind of motion head to Sal, let us know.
Boss, don't do it for me. I do it for him. That's the arrangement.
Yeah, but that's not how it always needs to be. Relationships are a give and take.
No, you earn your stripes. That's the relationship.
We'll have to work on this.
You mean that, like, I can ask the boss for things?
Well, absolutely.
I saw this, like, cherry 1969 GTO. The Judge, they call it. Matte black. Chrome rims. Tearing up the streets the other day. You think he could maybe hook me up with something like that?
You know, I'm sure that he probably could, but I don't advise it. That is a magnet. That draws too much attention.
Oh, it was so sweet, and you hear the engine purr, and then you're just like, yo, fuck with that, get fucked, right?
Maybe one of these days when you get that promotion, that could be something that's a little bit more appropriate. But right now, I
Could
think
you imagine a Kindred driving that shit around?
Charlotte can. Fucking Bruja.
Fucking Banu Hakim. All right. No, I'm gonna fix Vera, and she went out like a champ. That gives me all the more. That's why you fix her. I I looked into that stuff we got into. God damn, this night's been long, eh?
A little too long.
There's a Mitzi in town, not the gardener. I know boss has been trying to get at them for a while now. Nobody knows who the fuck the gardener is, by the way. How the Sakawa jabroni knew about him is who knows.
What's a sea meat? Sea?
Maybe better ask the boss about that one. Usually bad news. I hear that some people call them tremizes. You know, that's like the old tongue, right? That's some Europe stuff. But I don't know how you say it. It's said like it's spelt, right?
Gotcha.
No, it was one of them things, and I know they roll with Sabbat. But shit. You can see I'm healing good, yeah? Look good again?
Yeah, you are looking rather hale and hearty.
Fuck. Here. Might help you. And he hands you just like literal napkins from the glove box of Vera earlier on in the night. And there is what can only be described as a sort of like obsidian talon in it. It looks to be sort of like made of sort of like necrotic flesh that has petrified into a sort of talon or claw shape.
Oh, well, thank you. Is this a gift for me, or?
I don't know, but yeah, that's a gift for you. You can frame that. Put like a license plate frame around it. You could I don't know, get it engraved or some shit. Be like, Sarah and Jimmy were here. Fuck the Sabbat. Whatever. I don't know. It sounds a little poetical to me, but whatever you think it sounds like. Maybe use it as evidence. I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe I'll get a hole drilled in it, put a cord through it, wear it as a necklace.
Yo, that's like the best idea I had ever heard. I couldn't even think of that myself.
Jimmy's so lovable.
What?
Jimmy's so lovable. As like a character, I don't know. He's got like an innocence to him despite his profession.
I based him on a Grand Theft Auto character.
Jimmy just like grew like.
The Legend of Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
All right, well, I'll take this back to Sal. I'll see what he says about it.
Yeah. No, thanks for the smokes and the candy.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh shit, cards. Yo, what's your game? We gotta play sometime. I know you got business because you kindred, I kind, but like,
I like Go Fish, honestly. It's
bullshit.
yeah.
Bullshit. I'll teach you spades.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's like hearts but better.
All right, well,
Hey, remember, DTO, just any American muscle, really. Something with some class. Maybe don't stick out as much as that. Is that judge?
I'll start walking away at that point and kind of look over my shoulder. Always been partial to a Pontiac Firebird.
And he is going to say, "Yo, that's a chick's car."
Meh.
Yeah, shoe fits. Yeah, I got it. Maybe halfway, like a Gran Torino.
Well, I'll keep my eyes out and I'll let you know if there's one that ever comes across.
You catch back up with Sal in the backseat. You've gotten a hold of Sammy. Sammy Sedain.
Sammy's on the way. We'll stop at the deli and meet Ben and Cass at the stadium. How'd you handle it?
I think I was able to soften the blow a little bit. Oh, he did give me this. I'll hand the napkins over. Said something about a sea meat, sea?
Zamisi. He got a
That's what I
fucking
said.
claw. He got a fucking claw.
It's like some petrified raptor talon or whatever.
The flesh-crafted monstrosity that he fought with. He got that? That son of a bitch.
You see him he's like crying right now, like he's actually like over the bed. So, yeah, fucking Vera. He's like eating the candy bar in one hand, and he's got like the beer, and he's like kind of spilling a little bit, and he's holding like the cigarette in the same hand he's holding the beer. He doesn't know anyone's looking anymore. It's okay to cry now.
If that torpid bastard back at the deli wasn't enough, this'll be. Hell, if I was still in the outfit, he'd get a fucking promotion.
What's stopping you now?
I'd have to ask Decker, and I don't want to ask that tyrant for anything.
Yeah, I guess I've also kind of filled that spot, haven't I?
Yeah, but I don't want to be on the hook with him. He can send us on his errands, in the things, but I don't want him to have anything over me.
Understandable.
We should go meet up with those two.
Alright, so back to the deli, get the body.
Yep, and then you're in the Miller Park.
I mean, if you didn't give Tomlin such specific instructions, we could have sent someone else to get it for us. Saved us a little bit of the time.
I don't want anyone really going in there. It's private business.
What happens in the closet stays in the closet. Didn't take you for a Republican.
I haven't voted since Reagan.
It's such like a good line.
But then Sal and Sarah, when
Yep.
the ride pulls up, do the thing, and
Yep. No, the body swap. It's fine. Ben, are you still in the like dockers and stuff to go meet with the prince?
Yeah.
All right. In the
well,
pickup
Sal would throw on a fresh coat. Not
Oh, I
sure.
assume you've got some suits at the
Yeah.
either. I don't think you did it at the house.
Mm-mm.
Back to the freezer the second time, you're like, ah, crap, we're gonna meet with the prince. You probably got like maybe in that like Foot Locker or something, next to some other stuff, like tucked right up there on the side in a vacuum sealed bag. You've got that emergency suit you pull up. You know what I'm saying? Once you grab that, do you go? So the first night you met the prince, you were actually like a little casual, no suit jacket. Tonight, do you rock the jacket?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Sal at his second most dressed up he can be, because like you can bust out. I don't see Sal in a tie right now. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
Sal's patching himself up too. I rolled 2 rouse checks, failed one, passed the other.
All right. So you're at 2 hunger. You've healed 4.
You don't want to go to the prince looking like a
No, and
tore up ragdoll.
maybe Decker kind of likes a little bit of damage on you though, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit.
Yeah. And sleeping.
Kink.
The day sleep will heal you naturally.
Right.
That's maybe something you need to communicate to Sarah, which is tempting the beast to rouse your blood to heal yourself. You did mention that part. You wanted to be in a controlled environment. That has some repercussions sometimes, but the day sleep, at least the day sleep can bring you respite. And I am going to give you 1 willpower back, and Sarah 2.
For what?
Awesome RP. What else?
Hey, Jimmy's so happy.
Oh, it was a good scene. And Ben and Cass are already there in their classically done up the Woody pickup truck that's been tricked out and stuff like that. Good harmony, actually. Sort of the opposite of Milwaukee, where there is this incongruency, this discordance, this dichotomy between the old and the new that Milwaukee's kind of got going on throughout. Your pickup truck jives, that ancient sort of like 1940s Woody, box, been lacquered freshly, new chrome, all that stuff, good new paint job. Actually, the old engine, like a 454 or something like that, but then like done up with new technology for like a dual overhead cam, and a 4-barrel carburetor, and just tricked out, right? And Sammy's got you pulling up in a grain cab. Sorry, boss. It was late.
Short notice. I understand.
No, I got you.
Ride.
No, I got a new ride for Jimmy lined up, and I'll get you something else to leave here with. Probably gonna be like a Chevy Equinox or some shit, but it'll be discreet to get you out of here.
And then we see Ben and
Yeah,
Kat
Ben's truck at the very least is hard to miss, and the lights in the parking lot are half off at this point. The game has they went into extra innings. You never know Some people try to leave ahead of time to get ahead of traffic and regret it immediately. But we're in like extra innings, almost like it's some sort of metaphor.
Is there a protocol to get the prince's attention? I imagine we can't just walk in with a body. So I mean,
So
what's the?
no, you can't just walk in with a body, but you recognize the usual suspects, the heavies from before, the black leathers, the in the parking lot they just seem like a bunch of bikers like out here to like have a good time and drink a bunch, but in reality you know that they're ghouls for Decker because you've been through this before. The first big night, don't call us a coterie yet, was dealing with these heavies and meeting Akawa, and then right. And the same heavies are here. And they've learned to recognize Ben Sahar's pickup truck by now. Your swagger. They don't know who the hell you are, Sarah. Sorry. And Cass, honestly, they also don't know who you are, but you two they recognize. Like Cass is like could look like again anyone who escaped from the VA clinic or
Sal will lean over to Ben as they approach, and I think you may do the talking tonight, but we have our proof.
Yeah, but you guys are going to have to explain what happened. I wasn't there.
I can give a synopsis.
All right, sounds like a great plan. Let's go.
Oh, hold on. I remember when I was driving back to the club, Cass had Pixie's phone. Was there
Got
anything
it.
on there?
Yeah, he told me it. Said something about like a picture.
Body, claw. And if Arjun says shit, we fucking kill him. Sal says that.
and
I don't hate
laughs.
that.
I feel like that whole thing was in character.
I don't hate that plan.
In fact, you notice Ben's eyes for the first time have the most sincere glow to them you've ever seen. Like, you could roll some dice to hide how much you actually want to kill Arjun Shah, but I feel like I'm just going to, like, have your compulsion and beast take over and let them see it anyway, because it's way better this way.
There's been a lot of violence tonight. What's a little bit more before dawn?
Exactly.
The line.
Should we send one of his minions to request the prince's attendance? What's protocol?
I'm going to turn on awe, and I'm going to go tell the ghouls that we need to talk to the prince.
Do you want the prince to come to you, or do you want to go to the prince?
Well, we're going to have to probably go to the prince to show him anything.
Hang on. Do you want to go to the prince, or do you want him to come out here?
So,
I'm not saying that heavy comes back. I'm just asking you. Read the room, maybe. What do you want? How much control are you going to try to have over the situation right now? You see what I'm doing here?
yeah, I'm trying to not murder anyone.
So you didn't get to talk a bunch tonight because I'm trying to be mindful of your voice, but I'm giving you a big decision right now. And I'm tying it back into your last adventure. How much control do you want right now? Does the prince come to you, or do you go to the prince?
We'll just let the prince know that we have something for him and we need him to come down here and look at it. It's not something we can drag to the stadium.
We can get it in the stadium. If it's that important, you think Decker wants to come down here? You have all on. You could push if you want.
I'm going to use on. I'm going to say, yes, he needs to come down here.
I'm not going to have him roll. He's a mortal ghoul. You got the dice pool. Anything I can, should I tell him what it is?
No.
And I'm sorry, but, who should I tell him?
The Ben and Sal brought him something from our needing to find proof mission.
Ben Sahar. Proof mission. Alright, got it. Goes back, talks to some of the others. You see like one of them run off. You wait a while. And then you see a little like golf cart looking thing come down around the backside of the stadium. It comes over. Yeah, the boss says, and you see a bunch of the others go over and like kind of surround your two vehicles. They even like fire up the like motorcycles and go and surround them with it, and they go and make it look like a little bit of an after party and a tailgate and stuff like that. Boss says he'll talk to you now. And I really tried to convey the importance, the same one you've been talking to, but he didn't seem to care. There's a little golf cart thing that everyone can fit on and head into the bowels of the stadium and then go up if they choose to.
Cass is down.
All right. You right up? Everyone?
Yeah, Sal files this away in the little folder in his brain that is about respect. Adding to the file about Decker.
You're not on Decker's level.
Nah, but we killed a lupine. We found Sabbat.
He doesn't
Sal
know that
is.
yet. He doesn't know any of that yet. You know how many people come and say you got shit to prove they're the hot shit to Decker?
Sal's not a very smart man.
Just saying. You're led up. You're led through the a similar place where like Ben Zahar was like handing out like club cards and stuff before, and once upon a time you had Elizabeth with you, and Pix shrinking to the back in her hoodie, like kind of enamored. She's about to go meet the prince for the first time, and she thought she snuck into the city. Shout outs to Pix. And you end up in that same sort of like 3/4 glass box that you were in before. Noakawa. It's Thomas. Is the silent person in the room back behind the bar, making sure you don't steal shit. And all three judges are there. And Decker's actually currently enthralled with the extra innings baseball game. It's still going. The other two judges are like facing you. And Jonathan looks fucking bored as hell. Or, sorry, Thomas. Thomas looks fucking bored as hell, just like utterly checked out. Like, fucking hell. Decker, every pitch, every like call, he's even got like a little bit like of a scorecard or something with him, and he's just like keyed on it. And you even hear him murmuring, baseball terms and stuff like that. Like if they go with, this is a left-handed pitcher with a, right-handed batter. If they go with this pitch right now, statistically, and you hear him just like getting into it. And I don't know the particular jargon myself as an ST, but I understand like super baseball fans know this stuff. And Decker does that in real time in front of you. And then, like, who wants to roll a luck check? Whether the Brewers win or lose.
I feel like it's only appropriate for Sal to do that. For Ty.
As the Milwaukee denizen. Yeah. And then, like, crack of the bat. And you get like a 3-run, like, homer. And the Brewers win. Decker jumps up. Told you he's going outside. Told you he's going outside. Throws the magazine down like, told you. He's like, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. Fight every time. Know what they're throwing at you and lean into it. And he's just like yelling at the glass in front of him. And he's like spittles coming out of his mouth.
When there's a break, when I think he's like going to catch his breath, it's like, if you want to see another win, we got something here for you.
Oh. They give them hats. Give them hats. And he just like calls around and yeah, all right. Here's your hats. And the bored soldier comes over and hands out like Milwaukee Brewers hats and stuff.
And I'm going to put it on.
All right, you're a homer. Just like, I'm going to go back to making sure you don't, like, I guess, steal, whatever. And he goes back over there. Fucking Akawa does is way better. Fuck that guy. And he goes and, like, leans up against the door. And Abigail is, like, sitting on the chair, and she has a literal Barbie doll that she's, like, combing the hair of. And Arjun Shah is, like, currently looking at, like, an iPad. He's just kind of, like, going through it. Now, Camarilla don't like technology, per se. Yeah, win, Decker says. Yeah. No, it was a great win. It was a great win. You had another win.
We've found proof of the Sabbat.
Arjun begins then. He's like, oh, really? And Decker's like, yeah, proof. Excellent. I knew you would. I knew you'd find it. And he's, dear son of Malkov, you catch wisps of the cobweb around Decker right now. It's a little bit of like like you adjust your antennas, and you just right now you turn a little bit and cock your head a little bit and you kind of pick up in kind of perfect clarity with Decker for the first time in I don't know how long, and then it's gone, and then it's good again, and that kind of happens all night, like you're adjusting your antennas, but like he's giving off that frequency. This hasn't happened before. Decker and you, apart from being soldiers, you tend to speak different languages. There's that out there. Yeah, the proof. Good. I knew you would. That's why we did what we did.
I'm sure.
Look, I didn't want to cut your head off. But there's rules. He says to Sarah.
As draconian the proper term?
Hmm?
As draconian as they may be, I kind of understand. I'm glad that you don't have to,
Well, that
for obvious reasons.
remains to be seen. How good's the proof? Says Arjun Shaw as he interchecks. My prince. Oh, yeah, sorry. You caught me at a... Caught me at a time. Our team just won. But business...
Extra inning wins.
But
They're
business.
exciting.
So exciting when there's
Down to the-
werewolves, Sabbat, and all sorts of other shit going on.
The lupine. That was fun.
So, Decker seeming to gather himself a little bit more. So, I sent you to give me proof of the Sabbat. He pushes a wisp of his like super jet black hair back around the side, and you see for the first time like these scars that come up the side of his cheek. It's like, tell me. Sent you to get proof. You're talking about a win. Talking about lupine. Sabbat. Tell me.
The lupine was frolicking with a pack of Sabbat. We interrupted its fun.
And how do you know it was Sabbat? Arjun interjects.
Did the body get brought in? Or
I
is
think
that
at this
left
point,
out?
dramatically, like a couple of the heavies unfurl the body, right?
We could wake him up and ask him. But they were joyriding around town, attacking us, sending their ghouls. And that's where Sal will ask for the claw from Sarah. Or just, I don't know who has it, but
Sarah's got it, I think.
Yeah, I'll just pull it out of my back pocket.
one of their monstrosities attacked my man.
Arjun is like many vampires give in to the rock shrine. And he begins to talk, and then this is where Anastasia jumps in, and she's like, but this one's not one of ours. They're no citizen nor... And looks at Arjun Shaw. Nor are they accounted for in yours. In your understanding, this is a different one. This is an interloper. And she like combs the like doll hair.
We also have video before our interruption of the lupine. And I'll see if Cass has the phone queued up.
He's gonna hand it to somebody more adept with technology, but he'll hand it over to like probably Sarah.
It doesn't work.
The umbra?
To
Interesting.
Ben. Sal will
Yeah,
hand
I'll-
it to Ben, yeah.
Well, I was going to take it and try and make it work.
I'm gonna have y'all roll real quick a wits awareness.
Four successes.
Yep.
The 2 4 successes. And the 2. Yeah, I like the bestial failure. Alright, Sarah. Not only does the phone kind of like fail to work in your grip, but like the lights begin to flicker around you and you hear the voice again. We're wasting our time. We're wasting our time. And that's all it says. And then, like, again, the phone just, it doesn't respond. It glitches out. You see the battery go down a little bit. You know, it was like...
Fuck, I don't know why this thing's not working. Can one of you guys take this and...
Ben gets the phone, but then Salvatore and Cass notice very explicitly Arjun Shah kind of like watching that rather intently. And just you sort of like see the manifestation of somebody taking a mental note in their subtle facial expressions. It's subtle, it's not overt. But you notice that like sort of like the Polaroid of the facial expression just going, super subtle, but with 4 successes you see it.
A body, a claw, some video. We needed to get our hands on something, Arjun. Do
Duly
you
noted.
question what we have presented?
He questioned your word before, too, Anastasia says.
I know he did.
And this is where Decker comes in. And without our word, without our boons, and he looks to both of them back and forth, we're little better than the kine. So Sabbat, or in my city, will respond in kind. And there is still the business of her sire. But you have taken the tradition of, well, you've taken her on as yours. And you've sacrificed the protections of the treaty in the process.
Yes.
You are not a citizen, but we recognize that you are kindred. Lawfully, justly, allowed to be a part of Milwaukee as any other.
Is there any limitations as to what I'm not allowed to do while I'm in the city?
Your surrogate, your keeper, will teach you the traditions of the masquerade and what you're not to do. And all I'll ask of you is something you've already proven, is that when the chips are down, you fight or find yourself useful in another way.
Fair enough.
The sun's coming soon. It's a good night for Milwaukee, says Decker.
We still need to find out who made Sarah.
It's a question bothering me. But with Sabbat, it's an easy leap to make. You're an agent of chaos to throw us off our game, get us off the real scent of a trail. It's their way. Should you puzzle that out, I'd take it as a kindness, but I only ask that you prove they're here. Your kindred, citizens. You'll prove yourself to in time, I believe, but
the discussion of Sarah's sire, Sal's eyes, granted in the presence of Decker, haven't left Arjun Shaw, knowing what he heard and having taken this kind of protection, this role, claiming the tradition of basically accounting. Yep. Haven't left Arjun Shaw during this discussion of the sire and finding that out, knowing that he was there, given what we learned from Sundown.
How much do you trust Sundown? He's a rat, right?
Yeah, rats don't often lie. They just talk.
They chitter too much, maybe.
So, shadow of a doubt on Arjun Shaw, though, knowing more than he's letting on. His reputation. I mean, Sal, not incredibly smart, and once he forms an opinion, he usually tries to reckon it out with violence. So he's containing that here in the presence of Decker. But if eyes could form accusations, that's what he is doing here.
I'd like the coterie to roll a wits awareness.
Got 5 successes.
Sarah?
I got 4 with a potential bestial failure.
No, with a 4, you don't have a potential bestial failure.
I got 4.
You notice the 4 and the 5. Ben, you're trying to take it all in this moment. You catch some cues from Arjun Shaw that he's sort of like minding his P's and Q's and logging information. Using his discretion. He's being a judge. Sarah, you see Sal like very pointedly staring at this Arjun Shaw individual, this person that kind of like in non so many terms a night prior said they should just chop your fucking head off, right? And you also see Sal containing himself from the violence he feels towards this person. Cass, you get all of that. But you also get Arjun Shaw get a glint of panic. And we'll call it there.